Hello everyone, today is a perfume video and we are going to be chatting about spring perfumery. Finally, the weather is here for spring perfumes to really kick into gear. I'm very excited. I really like spring perfumery and it's all very hopeful and floral and fun and lightweight and lighthearted for me. I have here quite a few picks and mostly because I'm very excited for spring. So I did pull quite a few fragrances for this season and I am pumped to get into my floral phase for the year. First and foremost, a tried and true perfume that I've had I don't know how many bottles of over the years, is Weekend by Burberry. This really emphasizes for me the fruity, juicy, floral, sunshine, marigolds, it does truly smell like a weekend perfume, mostly because it's just a pretty happy fragrance. It's a little bit fruity and peachy, a little bit vanillic, but mostly slightly soured florals. Just a delightful little fragrance. If you're looking for a timeless spring to summer fragrance, ray of sunshine sort of fragrance, then Burberry Weekend is a really good pick. I've been buying Burberry Weekend for years, and ever since the inception of my channel, you've probably seen it on my channel sort of full time. It's always there. I'm always never without it, and I really enjoy this fragrance. Over time, I've been a big fan. The second pick for spring this year is going to be a fragrance by Chloé, and this is Chloé Roses. It's not the original Chloé, although they are related in a lot of ways. This one has this peachy pink bow instead of a beige one. They are related in a way. Chloé fragrances are extremely lightweight, piercing florals, and they are generally very clean, like almost clinically clean. Very soapy, very just out of the shower, Parisian chic. I woke up like this kind of fragrance. And the Chloé Roses is no exception. It wears okay. It's somewhere between the Eau de Toilette and Eau de Parfum longevity-wise for me. This is an Eau de Toilette. It wears like a good Eau de Toilette, so I don't have any qualms with the quality of longevity of it. I like the aesthetics of Chloé fragrances. I think they're very pretty and nice to look at. Looks great on the vanity. I don't have a lot left of this fragrance, and it's also in my perfume use up or project perfume. So I don't actually anticipate it lasting past this spring because I do reach for it quite a bit. It's a very clean green rose-based scent, piercing, floral, soapy, all the things that you expect from Chloé. So if you like rosier Chloé fragrance option, then Chloé Roses is good. It's not particularly womanly, it's just clean. I enjoy it. I like very clean fragrances that don't like scream with personality necessarily. I do enjoy fragrances that just sort of support your overall presentation. So to me, a fragrance needs to be either extremely wearable, very usable, user-friendly, and well-wearing, just utilitarian, which is one of those, or it needs to be super interesting and carry a personality and really increase the mood or change your mood and change your perception. Though this is not it. So this is a perfume that just simply is made to make you feel clean and pretty and give you like a little perfume kick. That's what Chloé Roses does. I think it's a decent fragrance. I don't think this is groundbreaking. I don't think it's the best rose ever. But I do enjoy it for spring, and I'm pulling it for this spring. I anticipate it to be done this spring. A perfume that is also in my use up this year, I've been reaching for it more. And this is Aerin Lilac Path from Aerin Lauder. I mean, wonderful, pretty much lilac soliflor. Not everybody enjoys a pretty clean, like just straight up floral with one note, which is a soliflor. And Lilac Path is just that. So if you like a very natural smelling fragrance that exactly smells like the flower that it's boasting to smell like, then like Lilac Path is wonderful. It smells like straight up natural lilacs. You close your eyes and you smell this and you smell a lilac bush. You're probably not going to be able to tell the difference. It's very, very naturalistic, realistic lilac. If you're a fan of lilacs like myself, you'll probably be pretty pleased with this guy. This is a repurchasable fragrance for me for sure. I don't have a ton left. I don't think I'll use it up this year, but definitely next year I will. In general, very pleasant, beautiful, straightforward lilac, which I enjoy for spring. I don't ever wear this fragrance outside of spring. Honestly, this is a very, very straight up spring floral for me. And if you're looking for a beautiful lilac, then I think Lilac Path is just a wonderful fragrance. And I'm actually not looking for any more lilacs because this is a perfect lilac. I don't think one can do better than this one if you're looking for that sort of thing. A very powdery floral. Oftentimes I do like to have a powdery fragrance on hand, whichever season it is. I tend to like to reach for powdery scents. And this is Insolence Eau de Toilette, not Eau de Parfum, by Guerlain. I do prefer the Eau de Toilette to Eau de Parfum. Eau de Parfum is a little bit just too cloying for me. It's pretty sweet. It's a sweet violet scent. And so is the Eau de Toilette, but it's more wearable in my opinion. It doesn't give you the gaggy feeling in the back of the throat that some people get with really powdery scents, especially if they have a sugared sweetness to it, which Insolence does. This is a very beautiful, fairly lightweight, wearable violet. If you enjoy violet scents like I do, and I love violets, it's some of my favorite florals. Irises and violets are an absolute must-have in my perfume wardrobe. But this violet is just so feminine and so pretty and innocent. There is a certain timid beauty to it that is extremely feminine and malleable and rounded and just pleasing to the nose. I do enjoy Insolence, and specifically in the Eau de Toilette formation. I haven't owned the Eau de Parfum for years, although the longevity on it is a little bit better. The formulation is, I think, just more delicate and more beautiful on the Eau de Toilette. So check it out. I think gorgeous violets, if you're a fan of violets and fan of powdery scents. A beautiful pick for the spring and a joy to own. I will continue buying the Eau de Toilette for sure. A new addition to my perfume wardrobe, something that I haven't owned in the past, but I do own a lot of in terms of different flankers from this lineup, and it's obviously Guerlain. This is the Florale, so floral, and it's the Eau de Parfum formulation. I don't think the Florale comes in any other weight. So I don't think there's an Eau de Toilette, but I could be wrong unless it got released fairly recently. I'm pretty sure it's the Eau de Parfum only. And this is a really nice iteration of Guerlain. I tend to really like Guerlain's. Probably the Eau de Parfum and Eau de Toilette are my favorites. But Florale is really crawling up there. I'm not sure if it's going to take over Eau de Parfum for me. I think it will, because it's this beautiful step in between where they didn't really increase the amount of lavender in it. I do enjoy lavender in the Eau de Parfum, but the Eau de Parfum does have a little bit more of those weighty, sweeter, more gourmand base notes. This guy is a little bit more lightweight on the base notes, and whereas the Eau de Toilette is leaning a little bit more unisex, Florale is definitely more feminine and does retain that roundness and suppleness, but adds this extra floral accent, which is very balancing, I think. So I think if you find the Eau de Parfum a little bit too sweet and a little bit too heavy in the base, I think, and you find the Eau de Toilette a little bit too leaning unisex, so a little bit too heavy on the lavender, Florale is probably going to be that Goldilocks situation for you, where you're going to be quite happy with a mid-weight base notes, which are still tasty and delicious and very comforting, but less weighted and less damp. But you will find that there isn't such a huge emphasis on the lavender that can be a little bit polarizing. I think very good pick for them. And I would not be surprised if this came out as an Eau de Toilette originally. And then the the Eau de Toilette version might have come up as Eau de Cologne or Le or something. Regardless, I think beautiful addition. Probably going to actually inch out the Eau de Parfum for me, and I think I prefer it to the Eau de Parfum, but I've only worn it some. I've worn it enough to form my opinions about it, but I haven't worn it enough to like really be sure that next time I'm purchasing one of the two, I will be purchasing this one and not the Eau de Parfum. But it's pretty likely. I think it's pretty likely that this is going to inch the Eau de Parfum out for me and is going to take its place as one of my most favorites from the lineup. Very subtle differences, you know. The Mon Guerlain line, it doesn't recreate the scent like, for instance, Idole from Lancôme does. They're pretty different, and the different flankers are relatively different, whereas the Mon Guerlain really sticks to the same formulation, just with slight tweaks left, right, up, and down to create a fragrance that's a little bit more catered towards somebody who likes florals versus somebody who likes more lightweight non-sweet scents versus somebody who likes a heavier formulation, which is sensuel, which I own as well, a heavier, more gourmand formulation. So they tend to slide on that spectrum, but not really veer too far outside of what Mon Guerlain is all about, which I like, actually. I think that is the proper way to do flankers. I'm not a big fan of a situation where flanker has not much to do with the original, because I'm like, well, why is it in this line? It's just confusing to me. Why would you put it in the same line if it doesn't hold the same vibe, if it's not the same fragrance, essentially? I added 3 scents that I fairly recently got. One of my relatively recent hauls was Dahlia from Givenchy. Initiale, specifically, formulation is just, what a pretty scent. This is a very floral, relatively clean, slightly lacy scent with a little bit of a creaminess at the base, which I totally am a fan of. I do like creaminess. I don't like a lot of sweetness, but I do like that creamy quality, which is like really cocooning you and is very comforting. And in a floral scent, it doesn't always come through very well. But in this case, Dahlia Divin is very comforting and lacy. It's also holds a lot of innocence in general. Spring perfumes are either really bright and happy or innocent. Those are the categories I tend to go for spring. This is in the very innocent, clean, innocent category, literature of the 19th century kind of category. Pretty, a little bit melancholic in a way, just really beautiful scent. I think worth a try. And the Dahlia lineup, I'm kind of interested to test more from the Dahlia lineup, because I haven't really been into Givenchy fragrances just for a really long time. I haven't tried much of what they were releasing, but the Dahlia line is intriguing to me. I should dabble a little bit more into that and see how I feel about Givenchy and what they're producing more recently, in the more recent decade. But Dahlia Divin Initiale is pretty and easy to wear and really utilitarian, but does have this very gentle, innocent, poetic flair to it. Then I have my old tried and true repurchase of the bunch, which is Chanel Chance Tendre. Specifically, I don't particularly enjoy a lot from the Chance line, although I'm a fan of a lot of Chanel scents. Mademoiselle line and Chance line are not ones that I tend to gravitate towards. I don't find them particularly inspiring. However, Tendre is a bit of an exception to that, and I like it for spring and summer. This particular formulation is the Eau de Parfum. I have a 30 ml of it. I've used up bottles of this before. And this juice is also a little user-friendly. So if you like a user-friendly fruity floral, then Chance Tendre is a good pick. This particular fruity floral is quincy and slightly purple florals, very lightweight, very innocent, very sophomore year in college, very life is ahead of me, and the world is my oyster kind of scent. It's pretty confident, but in a very youthful way. If you don't like very youthful scents, if you don't like lightweight scents, then you're probably not going to enjoy Tendre. But for me, this is a very quintessential I'm 19 and the world is my runway sort of scent. And I think it's pretty gentle as well, a little bit feminine, very youthful, pretty easy to wear. So if you are a fan of that type of a scent, check it out. I just recently got a bottle, so I'm pulling it out for the first season now. Finally, lastly, I have a small size here of a scent that I have only worn a few times in a sampler. And this is Hermès Eau de Rhubarbe, rhubarb scent. Really very faithful. Again, one of those soliflor, pretty straightforward scents. You get what you pay for. Very good quality, and this is Eau de Cologne 2 Eau de Toilette formulation, so it's a little bit better wearing, longer wearing than Eau de Cologne, and a little bit more long lasting. Projection is like weak to medium, not a lot of projection, but I don't actually tend to like fragrances with a lot of projection, hence my preference for maybe slightly lighter weight scents. And lack of heavy Arabian fragrances, for instance, in my possession, because I just don't tend to prefer a ton of sillage. In this case, extremely tart, very rhubarby scent. Now, this is kind of rhubarb preserves, except with very little sugar. So this is a diet rhubarb preserves sort of situation, where it's extremely tart, very foodie in a way, in a fruity kind of way. This is pretty straight up rhubarb. There is a bit of sweetness in there, but like this is a rhubarb pie where your grandma is a diabetic and trying to keep away from sugar. I like it. I think it's extremely refreshing. I like the tartness in general for spring and summer. Tartness is something I really prefer in my fragrances. I like greenery, I like tartness, and I like very clean florals. That's kind of my preference for this particular season. So I haven't worn this a ton quite yet, so I purchased it in winter, and winter isn't really a great time for a scent like this. It doesn't open up as richly as it does in warmer weather. So I'm pretty pumped to try it out and wear it in warmer weather and get a real taste for it and see if it's for me on the longer term, on the longer timeline of things. I'm not sure yet if this is something that I will be too excited to repurchase, but I think extremely fun, tart, easy to do, fruity garden scent, and I think the packaging is adorable. Their marketing is quite nice for this particular line. So lots of florals, a little bit of fruity tartness, some sunshine and lilacs, a little bit of powdered innocence in those two. Lots of good stuff going on. I really couldn't narrow it down any more than that because I'm pretty excited for the season. So I did have a lot of picks this year. Generally, I don't have as many. Generally, I have maybe 5 to 7 picks, but I'm a little bit more generous with myself right now. I do want to have this fun spring uplifting experience with fragrances, and this is kind of what I went with this time around. Write down below if you know any of these scents and if you like any of them or dislike them. Just write down what you feel and how you perceive them yourself. It's cool to know how other people perceive fragrances. Also write down your favorite spring scents down below, and I'm really curious to see what is in your perfume rotation this spring. What kind of things do you prefer? What kind of genres do you prefer, and do you have any particular favorite scents that you are absolutely nuts about? So that's it for today. See you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Stay well, stay safe, and stay healthy. Good luck, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.